Hello again. Good morning again, brave awakened ones. I'm a little more refreshed and showered after this morning's video. I hope you guys have seen it and take it seriously. I did NRV 40. Now, this video I'm doing right now, before I get started, thank you, supporters and subscribers, especially my Patreons. Thank you very much. You can head on over to my channel, highrealmholistics.com, for merch, for books, children's book, my children's picture book, which was #1 in December of 2018 on Amazon, #1 new book release, and adult books and meditations and webinars and to book sessions. I'm a certified integrative holistic health nurse, Reiki master, intuitive, highly empathic, lightworker Sherpa. Alrighty then. Um, I wanted to talk about light warrior battle fatigue. Okay, and it ties into the webinar I'm going to be doing this week to help restore you. Okay, before I get started, I had this issue early on and now I'm having it again. It started a couple of weeks ago where a lot of my comments are going into spam. I did not put anybody in spam. I did not log anyone as spam. I have not done that. And I've had a few people write to me thinking I did it to them on purpose. I don't know what's going, the usual shenanigans is going on. A lot of my comments are going to spam. I would say a good fifth of my comments are going to spam, for real. So if you don't see your comment, it's probably over there and I have to get to it because I have to manually go in and check it and unspam it. Okay, so sorry about it. It's not under my control. Okay. So when it comes to if you're experiencing battle fatigue as a light warrior, and the way my oversoul broke it down to me, there's two causes for battle fatigue. The way it was shown, you have your old traumas that may have healed over lightly, and something triggered and reopened it, like you just finished healing from it, and then the dark energy forces just does something to reignite it, to open up that old wound, you know, or you've been trying to heal from something for a while. That causes battle fatigue. And the second thing are new wounds, you know, like for instance, when I just got back from Atlanta the other day, I spent a week there. I went there for my daughter's wedding and for to visit my older sister who lives there with her 5 kids, who was diagnosed with breast cancer a few months ago, and much to my dismay, is doing chemotherapy. And it's one thing talking to a person on the phone and hearing, "I'm fine, I'm doing good, I'm doing fine, I'm doing good," and then you go see them and they're not fine, to say the very least. They're not doing as good as they say. She's doing better than most because at least she's still taking most of the natural stuff that I gave to her to help her heal quickly. But the chemo started taking its effect with the hair loss and the open sores and the weight loss, and it was very traumatic for me to see her. I couldn't cry in front of her. I had to keep it together because the kids are around. But I fell apart the day after I saw her. The minute I got back to my friend's house, I fell apart. I cried from that evening into the next day, uncontrollably. My friend was trying to console me the whole time. It was very traumatic because even though she's my older sister, I was always the tough one. I'm the middle one. I was always the protector. I was always her protector. She got picked on easily. We both got picked on because we were the only black kids in an entire school of Italian and Irish kids. So we were constantly picked on. And I was always the one to stand up. I was always the one thinking I'm Wonder Woman, and fighting everybody and protecting her. And protecting her growing up too. from the horrible abuse the both of us experienced. My younger sister didn't experience that because she was very fair, and most of the kids thought she was Italian, so she fit in perfectly. Um, I come from a mixed background, if you can't tell. So it was devastating for me to see my sister, the one who I've always protected and kept safe. I felt helpless, so it was that was major trauma for me and drained me, considerably drained me. My daughter's nonsense, her willful ignorance, it is what it is, so that didn't bug me as much, but my sister did. That was like, and that's a new trauma that needs to be healed, you know? So those are the things that could really, really cause you some serious battle fatigue. Or if you're constantly fighting to stay afloat financially, if you're constantly fighting, that, which quite honestly, I do have that anxiety. And it's not just about, oh, just release poverty consciousness and just, we're in some dense energy here, okay? Just doing that is not enough. It is a fight, it is a struggle sometimes, and you have to constantly be on top of it. You can get fatigued from it, and it's okay to be fatigued from it. Doesn't make you any less, okay? Doesn't mean you're not trying to stay positive at all. All right. Also, another, or constantly dealing with family members you're living in a hostile environment or working in a hostile environment, that causes battle fatigue also. Okay, when you're trying to maintain that high vibration, it causes battle fatigue because you're fighting up against the wind. It's one thing sprinting along and there's no resistance. This is constant resistance because the negative 4D beings aren't going to let you get through that easily. Okay? If you have, more power to you. Amazing. But some of us are more targeted than others, and yes, you are targeted. Okay? So there's a video that was put out today by Evolutionary Arts. If you guys haven't heard of that channel, he's really awesome. And he put out a video really, really breaking down the ethereal realm. That's the fourth density. I spoke on it about my video this morning. It was wonderful to see that video pop up on my timeline because I am subscribed to him. He's one of the few I subscribe to because he also talks about weather and things like that. But he's very spiritual, and it was fantastic that he covered that. It was like, whoa, I just spoke about it this morning. When it comes to the layers of the ethereal realm and the lower 4D, the mid 4D, and the upper 4D, I have made videos in the past talking about this because I do follow Hermetics, and the Kabbalion does a great job in breaking that down, and I've made videos on the Kabbalion. So if you're interested in my videos too, you can go back and look at those videos. But also the Emerald Tablets too is another good source for that. But he really goes in depth in talking about the layers, the strata of the ethereal realm, which is the 4D realm. And he specifically talks about lower 4D and middle 4D. Upper 4D is when it's positive 4D. He talks about the lower and the middle 4D, and he breaks it down. It has a good little graph in there. It's fantastic. I'll put the link below so you can see it. And I put a lot on my community page. I'll put on my community page because there's a lot there. Okay, so he talks about Luge. And that is what those negative 4D beings, people who, there's many on Earth who, who look like you and me, look like the normies, who are very demonic. They've given up their light. So their only way to stay alive, to stay here, is to feed off of your energy. And they feed off of Luge, which is the fear-based emotions. And these traumas and re-traumatizations releases Luge. And they will do everything, especially if you're a real powerful being, which all light workers are. They mostly come after us. The human Luge is fine. Yes, that's lovely. But to get a light worker to break them down, to get them to release some of that Luge, wow, that's like, that's caviar to them. Literally, that's like caviar, okay? Think of yourself that way. You're like caviar to them. Okay? So, with Gaia, remember I spoke to you guys breaking through into Gaia herself, breaking through this last quarter. It's opening up and she's just tipping through this last quarter, starting in October since Pluto went direct, breaking through to the higher 4D. Mind you, these beings are down here. They're going to be able to feed less and less off of us. So they're going to try harder and harder and harder because the end is nigh for them and they're trying to do everything to stay alive. So the attacks are going to be fierce, right? More battle fatigue for us to maintain our high vibration. They're trying to, the same way I'm saying I'm rising and I want to go as high as possible and take as many with me as possible. They're they're going down and they want to make sure they take as many down with them as possible. Okay? So in order to help that, to help you recover from battle fatigue, okay, I'm having my webinar on Sunday, okay, to help you restore and rejuvenate your energy. So it's going to be Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to help you restore and rejuvenate your energy. Okay, so in doing that, it helps you get over those traumas, to help heal those wounds, the old wounds and the new fresh wounds, you know. Also, if you're unable to attend or unable to purchase the webinar, it's only $22. Oh, okay. What I was guided to do since last week, when I was in Atlanta, my oversoul guided me to use Gong meditations. There's many online. Find one that resonates with you. Gongs, G-O-N-G, Gongs. Because that is the sound, and I've been hearing this sound for a while. Some of you could also. It started in October. And it's the sound that Earth is making. I hear it from her inner core, is making as she is breaking through into higher 4D. That is literally the sound the planet is making now, this gong sound. I tried playing it in my last webinar, if some of you heard it. Again, there are many out there. Find one that resonates with you. I'll put one in the description. I'll put it in my community page. That way it'll always be there. I'll put one in my community page that really resonated with me real nice this morning. Took me into a real nice deep meditation, and I feel really renewed, restored, and refreshed right now from doing it. Okay, along with the healing we're going to do on the webinar on Wednesday, and it's calling in Isis to help us do this healing. Okay, what else did I want to say? Okay, I spoke about the Luge, energy arts. Okay, and these beings that are feeding off of the Luge, again, they're located in the lower 4D realm and the middle 4D realm, fourth density in the ethereal realm, located in the ethereal realm. And last week's webinar that I did Sunday's webinar that I just did on the 13th, that's what it was all about. And just don't think they're located in the ethereal realm. Also think of like the human, the life forms that are here in front of you that you could be working with or married to. They could be your mother or your father or a family member or a neighbor. These darker beings, when they attach to these people, it lowers their vibration. And as they're feeding through them, they can get them to come and agitate the heck out of you to get you also. If they can't attach to you directly, because that's my deal now, it can't attach to me directly because I'm vibrating too high. So it will attach my daughter. It'll attach to my daughter because she's vibrating low enough for them to attach to her, to get her to do and say things that would agitate and hurt me, and then feed off of both of our energies. Do you understand what I'm saying? Which is what I did in last week's webinar. Last week's webinar was all about, Sunday's webinar, I should say, Sunday the 13th. That was all about clearing out your energy field, so your coworkers, if you're in a messy environment or a messy home with that type of energy going on, these people coming at you with these um, lower beings in the ethereal realm feeding to come feed off of you, okay, feeding off of them to feed off of you. um, for an example of those type of beings, it's like archons, which are also demons, jinn, the jinn. um, there's plenty of people who've really dark souls who've passed on, who've died and are hanging around. They hang around in that realm because they know if they're not feeding off of someone who's alive here, eh, on Earth, they they have to go back to source for transmutation, and they don't want to. They get too much pleasure, like someone who's been a murderer or a liar, just a really horrible, dark, vibrating soul, rapist, child trafficker, whatever, those type. They don't want to leave Earth, and they hang out in the ethereal realm, the lower four and the middle four, to come after you and to feed off of you and everyone else who's still breathing and has some light left to them. Alrighty? Okay, guys. So visit higherrealmholistics.com for all that stuff, for that goodness, okay? My meditations and webinars and higher realm magic and merch and t-shirts and stuff. Okay, so I will talk to you guys later. Peace, Lady V out. We got the victory. Hang in there, guys. We're going to push through to 2020. Trust. Okay? Hang in there. Bye. Much love.